guys, it's Glenn from glenscarcollection.com, and today we're going to talk about why you need to go to Monterey Car Week. This is my guide to Monterey Car Week. All the footage that you're going to see I filmed when I went out there for the first time in 2019. This is your guide and everything you need to know. So let's hit it. All right, so the first thing you're going to do, and remember to like, share, and subscribe, guys. That really helps me out. First thing you're going to do is you're going to fly either to San Francisco or San Jose. I usually fly into San Francisco, rent a car, drive about 115 miles south, about a 2-hour drive, but a very scenic, beautiful 2-hour drive to the Monterey Peninsula. Now, Car Week doesn't really start till Monday at 4 o'clock, and it goes through Sunday. There are a couple events. It typically takes place the second week of August on the Monterey Peninsula. The average temperature out there is gorgeous. It's about 65 degrees. I think next week it's going to be about 69 degrees. So Monday morning, you'll be looking for something to do. Either check out the Monterey Aquarium or do this 17-mile drive. Now, this you have to pay $10.75. I think it was $10 when I went in 2019. And you get to drive this beautiful 17-mile drive around the peninsula, and it's really gorgeous. There's places to pull off, take pictures, bring your binoculars. Now on 17-mile drive, but further down is this Pebble Beach, and this is where Car Week will end. This is the signature event, very expensive, too expensive for me to attend, but that'll be the following Sunday. So it's really 6 days Monterey Car Week, starting on Monday, so fly in the Sunday before, and you'll be starting 4 o'clock on Monday. Take 17-mile drive Monday morning, and also make sure sometime during that week, maybe on Monday, go see this. That's the Bixby Bridge. You see that in almost every car commercial. It's this beautiful bridge on the Pacific Coast Highway near Big Sur. We're going to go over it now. Now, you're only on this bridge a couple of seconds. And before you say, I want to rent some kind of sports car or exotic, there's a million tourists that necessarily aren't here for Car Week. And you're going to be going 20 miles an hour in traffic on Pacific Coast Highway, especially as you approach this bridge. Parking area is very small. Everybody has RVs or these big SUVs that they're traveling in. So it's almost like being in New York City traffic rather than going fast over the bridge. Very narrow bridge when you drive over it, and it's a small bridge. You're only over a couple seconds, but definitely worth doing whether you're here for Car Week or not. If you go to Monterey at any other time, you should definitely do the Pacific Coast Highway and pick out that bridge heading out to Big Sur. Nice places to eat lunch there or to have brunch. So it's definitely a must-do. I would go earlier in the morning. There'll be less traffic. You see Bixby Bridge, one of the biggest attractions, and there's only maybe about 30 parking spaces for a couple hundred cars. So let's hit the gas and drive further down. It's really just gorgeous doing this drive. It's not that. It's definitely driving distance from Monterey, not too far. There will be a lot of cars on the road, but the scenic will be epic. Totally different than the Jersey Shore for sure, but gorgeous nonetheless. Then Monterey Car Week starts now, 4 o'clock on Monday Pacific time is essentially the first day. This is like a kickoff party. It's free to attend. You just have to register beforehand. So I'm bringing my family. The tickets are free, but obviously it's limited how many people they could have at the event. This is footage from 2019. There were probably 500 Porsches there. They even closed the street down to fit even more Porsches. They usually unveil some kind of project car they were working on. Last year they unveiled a 993 that they made kind of a wide body and putting turbos on, very similar to my 993 Turbo, even the same color. So check it out. If you have a Porsche, you can be in the show. Like this Speedster here, just register beforehand. If you're a tourist like me and renting an SUV, you'll probably have to park about a half a mile away, so get there early. You'll see tons of 356s. It almost seems like this is the most popular car out there. You're also invited inside the showroom as well. They had a collection of 993s in beautiful colors. You had Guards Red, you have Arena Red, you have Riviera Blue here, and definitely something to see for sure. They do serve limited hors d'oeuvres and drinks, but don't count on that. So don't come here hungry and go out to eat afterwards. And again, this starts at 4 o'clock Pacific time. That's definitely a must-do. And then sometime during maybe Wednesday, you should go to Laguna Seca. You've seen it on TV. You've played it on your favorite video games. Listen to the beautiful music from these cars. But it is some sight to see in person. It's a gorgeous track. Now, one thing I have to warn you, and I found out the hard way, this is inland, so it's not on the coast, so the temperature is about, if it's 65 at Monterey, it's probably 85 here, so bring sunscreen and a ton of water, because there's really no shade. Listen to the beautiful music that these cars make. But it's definitely worth going. Obviously, you have to pay to go here. It could be kind of expensive, but you should definitely see Laguna Seca Blue. I'm sorry, Laguna Seca Blue. My test for the 4673s or what. You should definitely see Laguna Seca racetrack. It is definitely worth it. Now, if you go inside, you'll see every car here from modern cars to vintage race cars, and they are really a sight to see. And they also unveil some cars here too. So I saw the new GT500, which I made a video of last year when they were introducing it. It wasn't for sale yet, and the CA Corvette was here as well. So I'm sure they debut some stuff later in the week. And I think this week this year it's not taking place till Saturday, is one of my favorite shows in the whole thing, and this is Legends of the Autobahn. So it's just German cars. So mainly you're going to see BMWs, Audis, and Mercedes with some Porsches sprinkled in. This is a car from EAG, this Alpine White E39 M5 that was owned, I believe, by a former president of BMW. I met Jason Cammisa at the show. He was interviewing him about this car. Johnny Lieberman was there. You have everything from E30s to E39 M5s, and essentially everything. I saw some really cool RS4 Audis, every AMG you can name. I love this beautiful Imola Red E39 M5. It was really, really stunning. I told the owner I would put it in my video. This is actually footage from 2019, so he had to wait 2 years, but here it is. Now wait for it, wait for it. What else is here besides all these cool cars? Oh, my favorite car ever, the Laguna Seca Blue E46 M3. Now they have really cool cars here, everything from totally stock to resto modded cars. You see these beautiful BMW 850s here with their 12-cylinder engines. Really sight to see in person. Nothing looks like one of these cars. I would love to own one of these cars one day. Gorgeous, gorgeous car, especially in this yellow color. It really, really popped. So Legends of the Autobahn, it takes place in a golf course. This show has grown tremendously over the last couple of years. So they actually have a new location for it this year. Last year, I think, or 2019, it took place on a Thursday or Friday. I believe this year it got moved to Saturday. So it's becoming more of a signature event for German cars. As you know, I had this E3M Coupe with the S54 engine. So obviously they had a really strong showing here with the clown shoes. So this is definitely a must-see. Again, if you like any of those cars, BMW, Audi, Mercedes, AMG, Porsche, this is the show for you. And this was actually my favorite show there because it had cars that you could aspire to, cars that you could afford. There's also a Porsche Renworks event that I want to go to that I didn't go to last year because it was opposite this. And then starting on Thursday, you're going to have a lot of auctions, but there's events in between, like this McLaren event. My kids got to meet Bruce McLaren's daughter. They thought that was pretty cool. They had about 30, and remember, this is 2019 when the Senna was first coming out. They had about 30 Sennas that were owners' cars that were here. And then as the week goes on, Thursday you have all the Sotheby's, R&M, Mecum, all those auctions. So definitely check them out. This one took place in downtown Monterey. And then Saturday is the Italian Concorso. Now this is an expensive event. If you buy your ticket ahead of time, I think it's $195. If you buy it the day of the show, it's like $250. You have every Lamborghini you can imagine. I met Mr. Balboni, the former factory driver. He was very approachable, just standing there. Just had a conversation with him. There's obviously Ferraris here too, all Italian cars, so Alfa Romeo. And it's a sea of red Ferraris or all these colorful Lamborghinis. Now this is a must event. I don't think I'm going to do this event in 2021. It was a great event, but if you go with your family of four, you're dropping about $1,000 to get into this event. If your entire family appreciates it as much as you do, that's fine. What I did is I dropped my family off at the aquarium and I went to the show to film it. And you definitely need to see this show once because it's unbelievable. It takes place on a golf course and there's probably 500 Lamborghinis and 500 Ferraris. It can certainly take you, and some Alfa Romeos and Panteras and other Italian cars sprinkled in. It probably would take you most of the day to see the show, so take your time. You can definitely spend a day here. They serve, food, regular, hot dog, hamburgers, that kind of stuff at these events. So nothing fancy or anything like that. Now, of course, I wasn't mentioning the Quail. The Quail will cost you about $1,000 a ticket if you can get in. I heard VIP passes this year because they didn't have it last year, and it might be limited capacity this year. It could cost you $10,000. That's up to you. If it's worth it, that's where the who's who will be in the Quail. That takes place during the week. There's a lot of test drives. We did Alfa Romeo test drives of the Quadrifoglio, Giulia Quadrifoglio Folio and the Stelvio along the roads near the Pacific Coast Highway. It took place at a winery so that you could drive. As long as you didn't drink wine yet, you can drive these cars at pretty good speeds with somebody in the car with you up and down in the area, and great driving roads. So again, if you can get to Pebble Beach and pay the big money to get there, I wasn't able to afford to do that, but I had a great time, and that's your guide to Monterey Car Week.